You know what's amazing for me to see right now? The audacity of comic book creators coming together and pretending that they're saving comic books right now. See, the reality out there is that comic book shops, they have been suffering for years under this industry. And these folks, they've done nothing to help these people out. In fact, they've done quite the opposite, attacking their consumers and on. But hey, now that we have this certain social situation, they're all saviors, right? So hey there. So today we return to that wonderful world of comic books to talk about an industry that is right now playing the role of savior when it should have been playing that years ago. But hey, too little, too late, but still got to get that good press. Now, before we get started into this, two brief things. Like this content, consider subscribing to the channel, sharing videos, and checking out the links in the description. Number two, and more importantly, if you're a person right now that can't find assistance, if you've looked for basic necessities, I'm talking about canned goods, I'm talking about baby formula and on, can't get those, reach out for assistance, including someone like myself. Now again, I can't pay your bills, I can't do anything like that, but might be able to help you because from my family to your family, we're all in this together, and you know what? We're going to get through this. So the other day, I started seeing discussions about Comic Books United Fund that was being established to provide economic relief to comic book stores in need. Now, I do not begrudge that thing in any way whatsoever. In fact, if you want to go out and do that, that's awesome, helping out comic shops. But the real support for comic shops, it would have come from good products. It would have come from not attacking consumers. And you know what? The people that have been established within the industry, they've been doing that for quite some time. Like when I look at this kind of stuff, for example, I see DC Comics and Lion Forge dead. See, call me cynical, but when I see statements like that, I'm reminded of statements like this that talk about how there's positivity going on during these hard times. And if you talk about the negativity that this industry is showcased, well, you're the literal scum of the earth. And these people, they will tell you to F every single one of you. Get F'd. Thanks, much love, because of course, right now, what they're doing, yeah, that's the only thing that matters. See, when I hear this type of discussion, I'm reminded of an incident that transpired at a Comic-Con a couple of years ago, where retailers, they decided to speak up to Marvel. See, at one of these Comic-Cons, Marvel, they decided to have a back-patting session, where they were saying, hey, we're going to listen to retailers. And retailers said, this stuff in front of you, we cannot sell this. We can't sell it at all. Marvel's response to that was to shut down that summit totally. And the comic book press, yeah, they labeled these people ists, they labeled them phobes, and problematic because you know what? They'd find a way to sell it if they really wanted to try. See, the illusion that they've been selling is that this is a viable market and that everything that's been going on, it's attributable to this specific social situation. Without that, you wouldn't have any problems. If this were true, though, the numbers reflecting the standard bearers for the comic book industry, they would be on the up until right now. I mean, that would make sense, right? But if you look at that, it's anything but. In front of you, for example, is IDW Media Holding. If you know nothing about comic books, they are the fourth largest publisher of comics, and they are a company that has been in dire disarray since 2017. In fact, 2017 is not reflected on here, but that year, for their entire operating costs, they had negative $700,000. That's all they made, negative $700,000. 2018 is reflected here. And if you go down through here, you'll notice bracket, that equals loss. That means you're operating not at a reduction, but you're losing money for the entire year. And remember, these numbers, they are in the millions. So here in 2018, a company with $50 million in equity loses $36,022,000. And in 2019, they call this a better year because they only lose $26,429,000. I'm sure too, in retrospect, we're going to hear a retelling of this year, but if you look at 2020, 3 months ending January 31st, so all of this ends January 31st, so you can't blame it on that stuff, you'll notice that the net loss attributable to this company is again in brackets. This is just 3 months of operational costs at a negative $6.788 million. So you lose $6.7 million. But hey, all of this stuff stuff is viable, and somehow, in some way, it's all of that thing's fault, right? See, the reality behind this so-called viable industry is that it has been falling apart for years. You can track that to every company out there. For example, in 2017, the year almost everything went wrong for Marvel Comics, the company actually tried to about-face, tried to talk about the reality of what was going on in the sales market, and they still lost 10% across the board, meaning they had a 10% decline in sales, they had a 10% decline in money, and the guy that was in charge, Axel Alonso, he got the boot because of everything that transpired. Over the next few years, some of the departures that we see in the comic book industry too, they are absolutely unheard of. For example, IDW, who we were talking about, they let go of a CEO/co-founder while a new CEO steps in, and that new CEO finds that it's such a mess that they decide to leave too. They have their president as well step out saying, yeah, this stuff, it's just going to keep getting worse. And the editor-in-chief and CCO that got them there, this guy steps out, insults consumers while going out the door. But things are so messed up that they have to bring him back because no one wants his place. You also see people that are in charge of things like publishing, going to different companies. You see the PR people leaving. Again, it's such a nightmare scenario that everyone's either abandoning ship or everyone's getting fired. DC Comics, they experience this too, letting go portions of their workforce to the point that you have people that are connected to the founding of DC Comics coming out and saying, hey, the way that we did this, the unceremonious way that we did this, it was so brutal and unnecessary that maybe, just maybe, there's something really wrong. Like I was showing at the beginning of this, too, the number of comic book stores closing, it didn't start in 2020. It actually started in 2017, where shop after shop took the hit. 2017, 50 of them closed down. 2018 sees a doubling effect to around 100. 2019 sees another doubling effect to around 200. In 2020, I have no idea how many will be left standing, but remember, when all of this started, there were only 2,000 or so, 2017. So yeah, these troubles, they are not new. See, when I see headlines like this, and this is no shot at anyone that's going out and doing, something for people, that's actually a great thing. But when I see that Venom's Donny Cates is paying off an entire comic shop's outstanding pull list, what I keep thinking is, why didn't you start doing things like this when people were telling you they're walking away from the industry because of your very actions? You were costing comic book shops all the time. See, the reality is that the actions of people like Donny Cates, they have been killing comic book shops for years. You can see posts from 2018 showcasing that, and here exactly is what happened. Donny Cates, he gets attacked by people that were demanding that he accept the weird shipping of Eddie Brock with Venom, basically saying, hey, the guy that's in the suit, he needs to have a relationship with the alien suit. Fun times, huh? Cates refuses. Well, the people that want it, they continue to attack him. Fans of his work, they come to his aid, and this is what he says about that. I'm sorry that I haven't come out against Comicsgate stuff before now. I don't have a good excuse except I try to keep my timeline casual and fun, but no one is going to use my art to promote something that has attacked my friends. I'm not about that. Full stop. So yeah, he decided to take that, turn it into something else, and attack the very people that liked what he was doing, running people off from that and hurting shops in the process, but that, it never mattered. In fact, when you see pros telling you that customer service is a dog whistle, that's some kind of attack on them, I think that says something. Are comic pros more negative than comic fans, says Pat Zurcher, a representative of DC Comics. Yes, in few industries can pros talk down to a client and higher-ups let them keep their jobs, be it for political beliefs or critiques. This isn't all pros, just a good majority of them. There's little to no customer service in comics anymore. Why is every Comicsgate guy obsessed with customer service? Because you asked for customer service, so you got to be called a bad guy. They want pros to warm up to them, and yet the insults I've seen aimed at people I've worked with, at myself. If a waitress served you a meal you didn't like, would you call her up? Oh. So yeah, you can see customer service treated as a dog whistle. These people telling you, you're not the client. We don't work for you. We don't do anything for you. But now they want to pretend that they're the saviors of comic book shops. See, maybe if it was me, and I found my comic book shop drowning right now, I would say, yeah, hey, I'll take that life raft. But you know what? Maybe you guys out there, maybe you need to shut up. Maybe you need to stop hurting our business. And maybe you need to go and rebuild those other shops that you help cancel, because you've canceled hundreds of them by now. And that you can't attribute to this social situation. But that's just me there. I mean, what do I know? I'm just one of those people that was spending hundreds of dollars sometimes a week on this industry, and now, yeah, I don't come anywhere close to it, and it's because of the things I've talked about and much, much more. But anyway, you tell me what you think about this stuff. I'm curious how you see it. And again, I am not begrudging anyone doing altruistic deeds. That's an awesome thing. I just do not like this rewriting of things, because these people, they cannot pretend that they didn't get things here. They can't rewrite the book on it, because everyone has watched this. They've watched them drop everything in an industry that made billions plus. And yeah, they don't need to walk away the quote-unquote savior, because they are not fit for the role. But anyway, again, you tell me what you think. So to close, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen. And thank you for making this stuff work. The channel has been growing a lot. If you want to subscribe to it, I definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate what people have been doing, empowering the message, saying, hey, you know what? These places, they need to listen to us. And if they don't, well, woe be it unto them. Now, I don't want to monopolize your time in saying this stuff either, but I do, again, I want to thank you, because I'm appreciative of it. You know, this stuff, it doesn't have to work. I'm just a guy with a microphone out here. I know that these people, they need to look at themselves as just people with pencils that are grateful for being there. And when they do, maybe things will get better. But anyhow, until next time, again, thank you. I appreciate you. And yeah, take care of yourself.